This is going to be something special. Mexico against England for a place in the quarterfinals in Miami. Kickoff is just moments away. It really is final preparations now. Mexico ready to face off against England. Two of FIFA's current top 10 sides in the world meeting at the round of 16 stage at the World Cup. And this is all anybody has been speaking about here in this city over the last few days. Meet any local, they'll ask you for their score prediction, how you think it's going to go, what you're expecting. This has the sense of real World Cup grandeur. So much asked and expected of England with the altitude issues they're facing. They've had one training session in the city, just 10 minutes down the road from here. Many of the players had headaches upon arrival. Will they be having further headaches at the end of the 90 here? Certainly ponchos are plenty around the stadium for the fans that have braved the torrid conditions. But the Mexico squad stripped and ready ahead of action. Australian referee Ali Reza Fakhani is the man in the middle. It's his third match of the tournament. Nicolas Gallo of Colombia is the VAR, assisted by Juan Lara of Chile. And so to the all-important team news. For the first time since their round of 16 defeat to the USA in 2002, Mexico have named an unchanged team for a World Cup match. Israel Reyes started the tournament at right back, but Jorge Sanchez is there now. 17-year-old Gilberto Mora continues his rapid ascent to stardom and gets the nod again in the number 10 position. Raul Jimenez knows many of the England players, having played in the Premier League since 2019, and has scored 6 goals against goalkeeper Jordan Pickford previously, the most against anyone he's faced there. 4-3-3 is the way they go. Julian Quiñones, their 3-goal top scorer. England boss Thomas Tuchel makes 3 changes for the biggest game of his reign so far. Goalkeeper Jordan Pickford tonight equals Peter Shilton's record of 17 World Cup appearances. They're now fit again. Jarell Quansah starts at right back and is preferred to Jed Spence. The other two alterations once again come out wide. Anthony Gordon and Bukayo Saka coming in to replace Marcus Rashford and Noni Madueke. Harry Kane has 72 goals for club and country this season, including 5 at the World Cup. But Messrs Haaland, Mbappe and Messi all lead the race for the Golden Boot with 7 each so far. Former England left-back Andy Hinchcliffe alongside me. Andy, you have to declare an interest here tonight, but how do you see this one going?
I think it's going to be incredibly tight. I think player for player, England have the edge, but Mexico are a better functioning team at the moment. But this intense atmosphere, the altitude of this Mexico City Stadium, that has to be the biggest determining factor, though. It makes this the most demanding physical and mental test for both these teams that they face so far in the competition.
We've both struggled walking up hills in this city over the last 3 weeks. The distance covered by teams in this stadium has been the lowest of any in the tournament so far. Number of sprints down as well. Not too much can be expected physically. How can England adapt? How can Mexico take advantage? Strap yourselves in, everyone. One of the games of the tournament so far. In what might be a last ever World Cup match in this footballing shrine, Mexico play their biggest ever game within these walls. England looking to banish ghosts of 1986 in what is a bucket list trip for all of their fans here today. Both desperate to reach a quarter-final tie with Norway. It's back here with the England goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. England getting booed with every touch, understandably so, in this very passionate partisan crowd. Even the music before kick-off was getting booed every time an English song was played on the airwaves.
Yeah, the atmosphere absolutely electric. It is spine-tingling, but for the players, of course, they've got to enjoy this atmosphere. Don't be beaten down by it. Can they play their natural game under these really unique circumstances?
Free kick here to Mexico. Challenge the referee didn't like there, has sent Luis Romo sprawling, and an early yellow card as well. Declan Rice goes into the book.
Well, he's a combative, aggressive midfielder. The last thing you want in the opening couple of minutes is to be booked. It's a high boot. He catches Romo. Well, it's an unnecessary challenge on the halfway line. He didn't need to go for that ball, and it's paid a price.
So an early pause in proceedings. Thomas Tuchel trying to make his point about the challenge, I think, from Declan Rice, claiming that the player ducked in. It's always one of those, isn't it? Did he duck? Was it a high boot?
It's definitely a high boot. It's definitely a high boot. So again, Romo, a bit like Declan Rice, very aggressive central midfielder. He's going to force his way into the Mexico midfield, Romo. He's been brilliantly scored goals. Now he's a good passer of the ball, but the first thing is he's aggressive. It's going to be a good battle between him and Rice. And with Rice being yellow carded, he'll have to be very, very careful with any challenges he makes from here on in.
Wasn't looking good for Romo. They were preparing the stretcher on this near side, but looks like he'll be okay. No player wants to leave this contest early. Well, just to sum up the atmosphere in the city, aside from the stadium itself, I mentioned everyone asking us how we think it's going to go, what you're going to expect, but everyone you see in this city at the moment wearing Mexican green.
Yeah, the build-up has been extraordinary. And again, for me, really, it's on the flip of a coin. It is incredibly tight and close. And you know, Mexico fans, again, England fans, it's emotional. They want their team to win. Whether they're going to win is another story.
Raul Jimenez going for goal, his first sight. Alvarado, the work to come on the left. Sanchez, Alvarado. England defending very deeply here. Even Harry Kane on the edge of his own penalty area. And it's Ole football. Time for Mexico. They enjoy this early in games. Some fans might think it's a little bit too early for that kind of thing, but it's what they do here.
Well, Mexico started very quickly against Ecuador. First 10-15 minutes, England have to stand firm.
Alvarado trying to dance his way through. England have it back and win a free kick. A challenge there that Anthony Gordon always saw coming.
It's probably the start of the game I really expected. Mexico dominating the ball, being aggressive, stepping onto England. So England need that solid defensive shape. Just keep Mexico out for the first 15 minutes.
Jude Bellingham, still only 23, but one of the senior players in this England squad, really, already over 50 caps. And Harry Kane, very much their main man, and the man they'll look to for a source of goals once again. Rice. Bellingham's touch back. On the line by Kwanzaa. Saka. Trolling the wrong side of the line from England's point of view. But Andy, just to sum up from England's point of view, returning to this stadium as well, that holds so many memories for them, past, of course, getting knocked out of the World Cup here in 1986 by Argentina. Touch of class by Diego Maradona, a goal that shouldn't have stood as well. Always talked about back in England.
Absolutely, and again for these players, any generation, of course, of England players, they'll know the stories, they'll know about 1986, the hand of God, that incredible goal of the century from Maradona. But it's about writing your own history now for these England players as well. That's past, that's gone. Can they kind of change England's history in this stadium?
Chance for someone to make themselves a hero. The most popular chain of bakeries in England actually took their Mexican baguette off sale yesterday. Just trying to appease the locals. Alvarado always pops up all over the field. Lifting over to the left this time.
I think that's a big difference in, you look at the sides, they're wide midfielders, the wide players for England, Saka and Gordon, they'll maintain the width. Alvarado, Quiñones, they'll drift infield into pockets of space.
Alvarado, the run being made forward there by Gilberto Mora, the 17-year-old starlet of this Mexico side. England free kick for a foul on Bellingham. And what's this all about? Kane trying to get the ball back here to get on with things, and the referee looking to try and diffuse matters.
Yeah, the free kick was given. I think Lira just held on to the ball. Harry Kane looking to get on the ball, get England moving forward. And Lira just threw himself to the ground. I'm not sure there's anything too sinister in that.
Once again, in front of us, Thomas Tuchel, the England head coach, making his feelings known to the fourth official. It was a pull of the shirt by Lira on Bellingham. The referee had the perfect view.
Yeah, it's a clear foul, and he just grabs hold of the ball, and Kane, looking to get the ball off him. It's a bit of silliness, really.
So Mark Gahey stands over this free kick here for England. Not flattered to deceive for the most part in this tournament so far for their fans watching at home. Wins, yes, but by no means convincing for the most part.
Yeah, but I do feel they have that attacking potential, certainly with Harry Kane. Just defensively, they need to be a lot more solid than we've seen so far.
England just irking the locals here. Which will and won't work for you. It's back here with Pickford. Mystery concert. To Gahey of Manchester City. His club teammate Nico O'Reilly. Well, so many experts speaking about the altitude here, as they have done ahead of every match inside this stadium, but so much talk, particularly for England, whether it's better to come and acclimatise 2 or 3 weeks before. Of course, England didn't have that luxury, but they did take the opportunity to train at the home of Pumas, just down the road from here yesterday. Gahey, O'Reilly, Bellingham easing away. First chance for the England star to get forward. Here's Gordon, who's just joined Barcelona. Off Sanchez, and the game's first corner is for the away side.
Yeah, positive play from England, patient in possession. They get the ball into Jude Bellingham. He's had a really strong start to the game. He turns a couple of the Mexican midfielders, and then England are breaking forward, and they force this set piece.
Hard to just explain to you, wherever you're watching tonight, just how loud and intense the atmosphere here is inside this stadium. I don't think television can often do justice, but this place is absolutely deafening.
Yeah, I played and watched around the world, and the Azteca is the most extraordinary stadium I've ever been into. I certainly watched a game in. The atmosphere is extraordinary.
Referee has sorted out one or two players pushing and pulling inside the box. England's corner will be taken here by Declan Rice into Bukayo Saka. Saka centres, but past everyone, and picked up on the other side by the adventurous left-back, Jesus Gallardo, who will accept the throw. Quiñones, very much the danger man in this Mexico side, with his raw pace and running down that left-hand side. A right-back issue that has been a problem for England throughout this tournament because of injury.
Yeah, with Quiñones we saw that pace and finishing power that he has against Ecuador. When they were caught high up the pitch, Ecuador, England have to guard against that. They might enjoy possession, commit bodies forward. Just watch out for the counter-attack with Quiñones in particular.
Rice. Concept. Gehi. Concept. Rice. England starting to dominate the ball here now. It's the 7th time they've played in this stadium. They've lost 3 of the previous 6. Wins here against Paraguay in the World Cup round of 16, and a friendly win against West Germany. All they have to show for it. Last time they played Mexico here was in the Ciudad de Mexico Cup, or the Azteca 2000 tournament. The 2 friendly competitions overlapped, and it was a 1-0 win for Mexico. Luis Flores scored after just 20 minutes in front of a crowd of just 15,000. Chalk and cheese with today. Another 5 times that crowd inside this stadium. It's an England throw.
It was actually really good work from Jude Bellingham there, because he got close to Lira without fouling him.
Throw towards Gordon, but straight out of play it goes, and the home fans enjoyed that.
Well, it certainly won't affect him, but Harry Kane, opening 10 minutes of the game, hasn't yet touched the ball.
Legends aplenty inside this stadium today. FIFA President Gianni Infantino at the bottom. Former Mexico internationals Fernando Quirarte, Hugo Sanchez, Oscar Perez, and the often brightly coloured goalkeeper Jorge Campos, all in attendance, with Gerard Borghetti and Luis Hernandez. Everyone who is anyone in Mexico is here today to see one of the great sporting spectacles this country has ever hosted. Quiñones. Pissed it forward, but straight to O'Reilly. Gordon can't hold it.
Yeah, just trying to force the issue there, Quiñones. We can see Quiñones Alvarado just mentioned about how narrow the 2 wide midfielders play for Mexico. They drift infield, the full-backs push on and provide the width.
Tight spaces that Mexico are working in here. Alvarado. Montes. Captain alongside Vasquez at the back. 2 huge players in the L3 back line. High ball over the top, looking there for the run of Romo, who'd gone beyond, but through to Pickford it goes.
Yeah, we saw this happen a lot against Ecuador. Jimenez will at times drop deep, become the link player. Romo and more of the 2 attacking midfielders of Mexico will run beyond him, looking to get onto the forward passes we saw there.
What do you think Jimenez's knowledge is of these players, and how does it help him in this game?
It'll help him, it'll certainly help his teammates as well, because he can pass on first-hand experience of playing against all these England players.
Certainly had the better of Jordan Pickford over the years while playing in the Premier League for Fulham and Wolves. Scored in his first 5 games when facing him for Everton. O'Reilly.
Yeah, and I do think Jimenez will fancy his chances up against Gehi and Conja as well, especially when the ball's in wide areas.
Gehi The ball over the top towards Saka, who was playing on the shoulder. Filter Rangel.
Well, it's a magnificent forward run right across that Mexican defensive line. A surer first touch and he could have been in. A lot of ball watching there for the Mexican defenders. No one has tracked that run.
Long raking ball, asking a huge amount of Gallardo, but he is such a great athlete down that side. Goal kick.
Yeah, he's not happy, he feels he should have got the set piece, but I think he's maybe got a case. The ball seems to maybe come off Saka last there, so England may be slightly fortunate.
Well, this game was always going to be played at a high intensity. The stadium we're in, the quality of the two teams that are facing each other here. 8 games they've played between them so far. They've won all but one of them. Mexico starting to gain a bit of confidence here. Montes. Alvarado. Gordon coming in on the blind side.
Yeah, I mentioned that strong start that Mexico made against Ecuador. I think Thomas Tuchel will be fairly happy the opening 14-15 minutes of the game. His team will look fairly solid and carried a threat going forward.
Jorge Sanchez hugging this near touchline. Alvarado looking to deliver towards Jimenez. Oh, what a save that was by Pickford. A pinpoint header from Raul Jimenez that was destined for the bottom corner.
This is why I said Jimenez will fancy his chances against the England centre-halves. It's Alvarado's kind of trademark ball in, drops his shoulder, whips it with the left foot. Jimenez is on the move. It's a brilliant save from Jordan Pickford. There's pace on the header and it bounces just in front of him. It's a great stop.
Jimenez is country's outright second top scorer of all time now. Still has a few more goals to beat Javier Hernandez's record. Alvarado's corner. And they'll try again.
Well, just going back to that Pickford save, I think from that type of header, he's maybe expecting to make a save with his right hand. So his positioning's all important. He's making a save at his near post, slightly unexpected, but he was ready for it.
Alvarado with another in-swinger. Into a similar area. Kane with the header away, and an emphatic one as well. Mexico happy to come back and reset here.
Well, we know that Raul Jimenez is a vastly experienced centre-forward. I think we saw that experience with his movement. As soon as Alvarado kind of made it obvious he was going to deliver, Jimenez is just on the move, in between defenders. He's always going to get to the ball first, and that's an experienced striker's movement.
Quiñones onside here, but the ball has plenty on it, and too much. But the ball will travel at pace. We've seen that in the altitude here already. I said earlier, it's the world's 7th highest city. But for you, Andy, have you seen the altitude play out with the teams that have visited here so far? Not
necessarily, no. It's our 4th visit to the Mexico City Stadium, and no side has looked really laboured or tired. We've seen European sides come here as well, Czechia for one, and no, I just think they were outplayed by Mexico. The atmosphere, I think that the crowd and the noise certainly affects you. I haven't seen the team really suffer physically yet.
Quiñones just losing out there, and Kwanzaa going down. Referee looking, and eventually gives England a free kick. It's taken too quickly for the Australians' liking.
Yeah, the England team selection at right back has been a topic of conversation all week long. Kwanzaa has got the nod this evening, but he's got to be really aware of Quiñones drifting infield. Gallardo, the left back, running beyond him. Here's the opportunity for Jimenez. Great delivery from Alvarado. It's pacey. The striker's onto it. He probably feels he's scored when he heads it, but that is a really difficult save at his near post. As it bounces, strong arm to keep it out. It's great kind of anticipation from Jordan Pickford.
Perhaps the surprising thing is that Mexico's main striker, and one of their country's legends in Raul Jimenez, has already committed his future to play in the 2nd division of English football in the Championship next season. He agreed a deal to rejoin Wolverhampton Wanderers. He was praised heavily by Javier Aguirre in the Mexico press conference yesterday. Said he was the same person he was when he left Mexico. He's humble and has never been a diva. And that's all anyone wants to hear about themselves, isn't it? Quiñones. Mexico with space if they can work it. That they're doing so far. Romo. Quiñones. He scored the opening goal of the tournament at this end of the stadium. Quiñones, lovely exchange, and Mexico nearly with an opening. England will bring it away, but for how long? Kane goes back and Quansah will swing.
Yeah, I've talked about the England team selection. I think for Mexico as well, we weren't sure whether Mora would start. Such a young man, but plays with such maturity.
The referee didn't like the active dissent here from Cesar Montes, who threw his arm up in the air when that free kick was awarded against his side. Referees haven't been handing out yellow cards en masse in this tournament. They have tried to keep the cards in their pocket when they can.
He's maybe lucky not to be booked there because he's got no defence. He wraps an arm around Bellingham and it's an obvious foul. The referee's right to give the free kick.
Well, that yellow card for Declan Rice earlier was only the fourth card within the opening minute of a World Cup match in history, and the first since actually Jesus Gallardo for Mexico against Sweden some 8 years ago. Gordon. Just pace down this side, and will beat Sanchez. Still Gordon. It's another England corner.
Yeah, I think it strikes the arm of Lira, but he's sliding. The arm is supporting his body, so it's never going to be handball.
Interpretations of the handball law differ widely across the globe. There is a certain leniency here at the World Cup, which I think everyone appreciates.
It's good work there from Anthony Gordon. He's got Jorge Sanchez kind of guessing, I'm going to go infield, I'm going to take you down the line. He just mixed up his attacking game, and for a fullback, you don't want that.
England's second corner. Rice will put it in long this time. The run there from Gehi. Mexico defending strongly so far, as they have done throughout this tournament up until now. It could be the second team at the World Cup to keep a clean sheet in their first 5 matches. That's since Italy when they hosted in 1990. They ended up finishing in 3rd place. And Mexico have never gone beyond the quarter-finals.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, Mexico, Raul Rangel, their goalkeeper, yet to concede a goal. He's made a couple of really important saves, but he's not been overworked. He's been so well protected by the back four and the team in front of him.
I think Thomas Tuchel not happy there because that's the second time they've had a throw in that position that's gone straight out of play for a goal kick. He actually said in his press conference yesterday, don't lose your head. And he was close to losing his there. Montes, Quansah's header. Anderson, who's just joined Manchester City for a whopping £116 million. Mora. Haven't seen too much of him just yet.
Yeah, that's good work from Lira there. He's there to screen Jude Bellingham when England have the ball, looking to get their star attacking midfielders heavily involved. So Lira will just try and screen and pinch the ball off him.
Quiñones, the reverse there, looking for Jimenez. The referee getting in the way and is obliged to stop the game as much as England wanted to continue there. And now we pause for the first hydration break. Nothing between the sides so far. Goalless here at Mexico City Stadium. England have tried to get going, Mexico the same, but no breakthrough for either side. Though the hosts, have come closest through Raul Jimenez. Well, welcome chance for Mexico and England to get some fluids on board here in what has been a fiery atmosphere so far as the rain continues to trickle down here in Mexico City. What have you made of it, Andy Hinchcliffe?
Well, I think the opening quarter of the game, I'm probably expecting the whole game to be like this, to be a really close contest with maybe one or two opportunities. Jimenez had that chance, great ball in from Alvarado, great header really from Jimenez. Just Jordan Pickford was equal to it. So I expect a tight contest. It's just who can be clinical, who can take those one or two chances that come along, because I think it's going to be precious few in the course of the game.
You can see just the traditions that remain at this stadium as well, with the two dugouts at eye level for those sat on the bench. It really is old school, even though it has been done up over the last couple of years to host this magnificent tournament as it has been so far. And Andy, we were trying to put it into words yesterday when we were chatting over dinner, just how different it is to play in each of the host nations' own stadiums. USA still going in the tournament, Canada knocked out by Morocco, but here in Mexico it feels something different.
Yeah, there's certainly extra pressure there for the hosts, because again, they've got so many more fans behind them at every single game, so that the pressure is on for them. That's why I've been so impressed with Mexico. And of course, if you win that first game, you get a good start, it can kind of lead to better and better things. But it's not easy when the expectation, game by game, grows, and Mexico certainly had that. But you just get the feel with Mexico, it's not just a team, it's kind of a city, it's a country that have united behind their football team, and their players are really kind of relishing that. They're not being beaten down by it, they're enjoying the expectation.
And they've had all three attempts on goal in this game so far. England's yet to test Raul Rangel in any shape or form. And Thomas Tuchel really getting into his England players here. Probably the like of which we haven't seen too much of so far at this World Cup. You see Mexico done and dusted with their hydration break here, but England using the minutes to the full.
Yeah, of course, Thomas Tuchel, Javier Aguirre, they'll get their message across to the players, then it's down to the players. It's very difficult to make yourself heard here, so you can't really coach from the sidelines. The players have to carry out the coach's instructions. It's down to them now.
Javier Aguirre, such a likeable character. Really enjoyed listening to him throughout the tournament. His third spell in charge of Mexico. The third World Cup for him as well. 2002, where they reached the round of 16, losing to the USA. In 2010, where they were knocked out at the same stage by Argentina. Gordon going for goal. England's first attempt. And from a narrow angle, it was always going to have to be something special. That it wasn't from the Barcelona winger.
Well, we all started with a brilliant forward ball from Jordan Pickford. He turned Mexico around, get in behind Sanchez. I don't think Mexico are happy. They feel the ball went out of play. Clearly that decision wasn't made, so you just play on, but it's not the cleanest strike. It's not that powerful. It's not going to beat a goalkeeper like Rangel from there.
Well, Jimenez was struggling to get to the ball there and felt his only way was having a bit of a pull there on Conte's shirt. England free kick, which Gay is trying to steal a few yards over here. He's ordered back by this vastly experienced referee.
It's probably the match stats that you would have expected with Mexico on the front foot, having that excellent opportunity with Jimenez. But I think for England, it's not necessarily about creating chances going forward. It's being defensively solid, not conceding in the early part of the game. They've done that pretty well.
You can see by the look on some of the England players' faces just what kind of a situation and atmosphere they're in here. Anderson caught on the ball. Flick header there by Lira. Kwanzaa to Rice.
Yeah, it's interesting watching Kwanzaa. Every time Quinones drifts in field, Kwanzaa is tracking him all the way in. He's not passing him on. It's his man, he's staying with him.
Kane gets a bit fortunate. Rice. Bellingham. Challenge from behind, but fairly, and Bellingham stays on his backside appealing, but the referee not interested. Sanchez. Mora. Rice herring after the ball here, but Alvarado has the composure and the vision Bellingham has the strength and the poise. But not the right decision. Mora. Wasn't quite on the same wavelength there as Jorge Sanchez, who was making the run in good faith.
Jude Bellingham there just overdoes it. It's a brilliant piece of work initially. Drops back, he helps out defensively. He just needs to get his head up and pass the ball.
Mexican actor Sebastian Rulli watching on. Players not afraid to get stuck in from both sides in this game. The referee coming over here to have a word with Eric Lira, who was giving some lip to his fourth official from Morocco, Jalal Jayet.
Yeah, there's one of those tackles there that fullbacks love. It's an opportunity to win the ball and also leave a little bit on Jude Bellingham, which is exactly what Sanchez does. It's a good challenge, it's not a foul, it's just really aggressive.
Sanchez with the throw, back to Montes. It is a pretty chilly evening here in Mexico City. Those who left home without a jacket or jumper, feeling it now, myself included. Saka. Slipping and sliding and unable to keep his feet. Quiñones with the quick throw. Mexico understandably looking the more relaxed and composed of the two sides here. Thomas Tuchel, the England head coach, spoke about getting through the first 15 or 20 minutes and then seeing how things went. Well, they've reached the half-hour mark. Gallardo in low, Ponce with an unconventional clearance. Quiñones couldn't bring it down. Rice couldn't keep it in play. Quiñones, the top scorer in the Saudi Pro League in the season just gone, with a phenomenal campaign. 33 goals in just 31 league appearances. Montes to Vasquez. Montes. Alvarado. Sanchez. Montes. Vasquez. Something building here slowly for Mexico. Mora losing it in the end. Rice again dropping into that back line to help out. Looking for Kane, who has barely had a touch in the game so far of significance. Quiñones. Romo urged to shoot and does. Never in control of it and sends it into those England fans positioned behind the goal.
Yeah, it's just too tempting. The ball is running across his body. You're trying to wrap your instep around it, keep it down, get the power, keep it on target. It's not an easy skill. He's never really set to strike it. A good period of possession there, pace of possession from Mexico, just moving England around.
Bellingham. Gordon. Lira challenged from behind there by Gordon. The referee looked like he saw it as a foul there and seems to be playing the advantage, but wags his finger. Here's O'Reilly. He's really flourished at Manchester City this season in this position, though started his career much further forward.
Yeah, the referee so far has handled the game brilliantly. You know, he's made strong decisions, he's not taking any prisoners. You know, he's laying down the law. I think he's allowing certain strong challenges to go as well, because he knows the nature of the game, so you can't be stopping and starting the game. Every time a challenge goes in, he's judging them on its merits. I think he's making the right decision time and time again.
Yeah, I said he was experienced. He officiates in the A-League in Australia at the moment, but he was actually born in Iran and officiated there as well as Indonesia before making it to Australia. Saka can't get past his man. Scoop forward for Quiñones. Mexico having a big period of possession here inside the England half. Sanchez. Alvarado. Sanchez. O'Reilly gets a foot in. Alvarado, so graceful on the ball. Lira, the metronome in front of the Mexico backline. Vasquez, Montes. Two centre-halves play in Europe. Vasquez at Genoa in northern Italy. Cesar Montes with Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia. Vasquez stepping well forward here into a position to cross towards Jimenez.
Yeah, it's a poor ball in, but it's a worrying from England's defensive perspective there. Just allowed to travel with the ball, choose when he wants to play the ball into the box. England need to engage, need to close down, stop those crosses.
Well, the England fans away to our right-hand side trying to make themselves heard, but as much as they sing and chant, the Mexicans boo and whistle back. Romo, Lira, Romo, Lira. Gallardo, Quiñones, who can hit them from all over. Romo. So much expectation. Any time anyone in a Mexico shirt picks the ball up inside the England final third. Alvarado. Sanchez. Alvarado. Sanchez. Vasquez. It's a long high ball towards Jimenez, who was stretching and reaching and trying to get a stud on it. He just couldn't quite do it in the end, but it's England who stretch their legs now with Rice. Saka. First time he's really got into this kind of area, able to do damage. Bukayo Saka, past Kane, but Bellingham coming in! England lead in the Azteca! Jude Bellingham! He's the first man to silence a Mexican crowd this summer. And isn't he enjoying it?
The first goal that Mexico have conceded, and it's an absolute beauty from an English perspective. Jimenez nearly gets in at one end, but it all starts with Declan Rice. He picks up the ball and he drives forward and he supplies Saka really early. So then you've got that isolation with wide player against fullback, exactly where Saka wants to be. And Jude Bellingham, attacking midfielders in this competition are causing so many problems. He's not up with Kane, he's supporting Kane, then he runs beyond him. He's just waiting and waiting for the cross to be delivered, then he makes his run. That run's not been tracked. And for Bellingham, that is a pretty simple finish, but it's a wonderfully created goal from an English perspective.
Jude Bellingham with his third goal of the World Cup. A diving header at the far post to send about 4,000 or 5,000 England fans at the other end of the stadium into absolute delirium. And now, for the first time, Mexico have to deal with adversity.
Yeah, look at the goal from a Mexican defensive point of view. Saka, Gallardo, you have to close him down and you have to track the forward run of Bellingham. Two big problems and they suffer.
Bellingham, England coming again. It's Harry Kane and Bellingham again. 2 in 2 minutes for England, who are in Mexican dreamland. That's the way to do it. And maybe those ghosts of '86 are going to be banished and put to bed tonight.
But again, you look at where the goal comes from. They just conceded Mexico. You know, as a team, they're talking to each other saying, you know, OK, we've conceded, just keep our heads, don't give a quick second goal away. But it's down to England's pressure on the ball. They're slightly laboured in possession, Mexico, and the ball is won. Look at the aggression here to win the ball back. Not one but two England players. They get the ball back, they flood forward. Once again, look at Bellingham's movement. He plays it to Kane. Kane knows he's not going to shoot. He pulls the ball back, hoping that Bellingham has made that supportive run, which he has. It's another brilliant goal from England. How they won the ball back, and then, you know, breaking forward, players understanding what each other are looking to do. Kane and Bellingham combining. It's a long way back for Mexico now.
Well, it was the first time that Mexico had gone behind at this stadium in a World Cup match in their history. Now they have to come back from two, thanks to this man. What a career he is having so far for both club and country, doing it on the biggest stages. Plays his club football, of course, at the Santiago Bernabeu in the Spanish capital. And here, over in Mexico, he is doing it in one of the world's biggest footballing arenas.
Yeah, Bellingham's such a talented player, can play in virtually any midfield position, but those runs from a kind of a deep line midfield position have caused problems for so many opponents, and they certainly have with his two goals here.
Just 99 seconds between the two goals. And this place has really been quietened down now, and those England fans behind the goal away to our right, where they're mostly banked in two sections, low down and high up in the gods, are trying to make their voices felt.
Just a word on the unselfishness of Harry Kane as well. Looking to maybe get the golden boot for the tournament. Could easily have shot from that angle, but he did the right thing. He pulled the ball back for the onrushing Bellingham. So again, Harry Kane showing what a selfless team player is. It's not all about him being the hero, scoring the goals. It's England scoring goals.
For Bellingham, that's now 6 goals in his last 9 games for club and country. He's ending 25-26 with a flourish. Alvarado with the free kick. Out by Kane. Bellingham isn't too much of a hat-trick merchant, but he is closing in on one here at a World Cup finals.
Yeah, that second goal conceded from Mexico is a hammer blow. They've got to be very careful here. If they get a little too excited to go chasing the next goal in the game, England on the counter-attack could punish them. If England go 3-0 up, it's game over.
He's had braces plenty of times before, Jude Bellingham, but has never got a hat-trick in his senior career. Made his debut when he was just 16 years old, playing for Birmingham City. Free kick Mexico. They have had plenty of set-piece opportunities so far. They need to find some quality. They need something before half-time. Incredibly, before today, Mexico had faced just 6 shots on target in their 4 games, but now they've met their match. 3 already for England in 41.5 minutes.
England were devastating. They just exploited the mistakes that Mexico made. They were caught high up the pitch for the first goal. They gave the ball away, or England pressured them into giving the ball away for the second. So it's just really good play from England.
Alvarado puts it into a great area, and Quiñones! Mexico have life, and of course, it's their top scorer here at the World Cup, Julian Quiñones, who gives himself a slice of Mexican history. Now, along with Luis Hernandez back in 1998, he's got 4 goals at the World Cup, and Mexico have a lifeline.
Well, what a response from Mexico, an emphatic finish, but it's the free kick, the delivery, the angle, the pace, that causes all the problems. England can't deal with it defensively, breaks kindly, and he absolutely smashes it home. He never really looked like missing. You know, they don't go too early, the Mexican players, they're all onside, but it's where that ball's delivered into. Pickford can't come and deal with it. You know, it's not a convincing clearance from Konza because he's facing his own goal. And Quiñones, again, he's got to keep, you know, he's calm, he's got to be composed. He absolutely buries it. Game on.
Quiñones says, have some of that, England. There was no stopping it for Pickford. Quiñones after this one as well. Can Mexico hit back with 2 quick goals? Well, they've got a corner.
Yeah, but England will be so disappointed. Gave away a cheap free kick that led to that goal back for Mexico. You know, it's an avoidable. Don't make silly challenges and encourage Mexico on.
Well, the corner was given, but it has subsequently been reversed here. Well, so it seemed at least, anyway. It's one for a throw. Joel Quanza will take it. Well, remember, Mexico have only ever lost 2 competitive matches here out of 88 previously across 6 decades. Sanchez and O'Reilly going shoulder to shoulder. And it's the Englishman that wins through.
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel, of course, will be disappointed to have conceded, but I'm sure if he'd offered the England coach this scoreline at this stage of the first half, he'd have taken it.
Jordan Pickford just trying to buy his side a little bit of time here. No playing out. This is going to be an old-fashioned lump it long, like Peter Shilton might have done here back in 1986. Just about the most aggrieved man with what happened with Diego Maradona. Would never forgive him. Goal at the end where England have scored both of their strikes so far. Of course, scored a superb solo effort as well from just about that place. But it was picked up there by Concept as he took on just about the whole England team. And that is history. This is now. And this is Mexico coming forward with Quiñones. Alvarado. Oh, it's Quiñones coming round the back. Quanza gets it to safety.
Well, England give the ball away cheaply, and then they're really struggling for defensive numbers. They've got to guard against that. Play the ball into midfield halfway line. It's a poor pass, it's picked up, and then they're in trouble.
Into added time, of which there is going to be 5 additional minutes. Jimenez double marks there. Alvarado. He showed a little bit too much of it there to Elliot Anderson. Mexico have the throw. They'll accept the dry ball as well. Anderson out. Lira. Here's the little chief. Cushion for Jimenez! He's had 2 great chances, thwarted by Pickford once, but couldn't test in for a second time.
He just doesn't strike that cleanly. Brilliant play from Quiñones. He just holds off Quanza, lays the ball back to Jimenez, but he pulls it, he scuffs it. It's a golden chance for an equaliser, and he knows it.
They love him in this place. His face is all over the city, on billboards, on packs of paper, everywhere in the supermarkets. He is Mexico. Saka dribbles it over the line. His side have something to go off here.
Yeah, Aguirre will be so disappointed with the manner of the England goals. All you can ask for your team is, can you get that goal back maybe before half-time? 2-1 and you're right back in it, and they've done that.
Well, he scored twice in his first 5 caps, Julian Quiñones. That's his 4th in 21 caps since then. Here's the mass momentum of the game so far, just showing how much dominance Mexico have had.
Yeah, of course, the peaks are going to the higher the peak, the higher the attacking threat. So they've had plenty of the ball, they've pinned England back, they've had plenty of threat going forward, but it's all about taking your chances. England at 2-0 have done that, but Mexico with that Quiñones goal there, they're right back in it.
Rapidly closing in on half-time here. Gallardo with hands on the back of Bukayo Saka.
I just think he just comes through the back with maybe raised studs. That's what Harry Kane, the England players, weren't happy about.
Alvarado again looking for Jimenez. Oh, Pickford with another worldly save. The England goalkeeper. He's doing so much for his side tonight. That was spectacular.
It's magnificent positioning and reflexes. There's not as much pace on the Alvarado cross as the first one that Jimenez attacked, so it's a bit more loopy from the striker. That said, it's still magnificent agility to palm it away.
Mexico looking to strike while the iron's hot. And he continues to do so. Hasn't had the better of Pickford so far. And the chances keep on coming, which is a positive for him. Alvarado, Jimenez, free header, and Montes! What a goal-saving challenge that was! Astonishing piece of defending there, right at the last, from Jude Bellingham.
Well, if Montes can take this first time, it's 2-2, but he has to take a touch. He's onside, but the ball bounces, so he takes a touch, and that means that Bellingham, because he's aware he's alive, can get a boot on the ball. I think if it comes on the full to Montes, it's 2-2.
He scored 2 and saved 1. Make no doubt about it, this is one of the games of the tournament so far. It's everything we thought it was going to be. Mora, the teenage sensation, with this latest set play.
You know, when you look at the opportunities that Mexico have had since going 2-0 down, it's a surprise they're not at the very least level.
Barely anyone is seated inside this stadium. 80,000 plus on their feet because of how gripping this contest is. This is why we love football. These kind of nights under the lights that only football can bring. Mora. Vasquez. Gallardo. Romo. Quiñones. This is nice. Quiñones. Romo. Quiñones had got again and is furious he didn't get the ball there. And here's Lira. Montes. Mexico keep moving it. Keep England thinking. Quiñones, it's deep. It's somehow being kept alive here by Sanchez, who made the late run in. Here's Gordon. Played it well. Free kick England.
Yeah, just going back to those 2 Pickford saves, I think the second one looks a better one, looks a bit more glamorous, but the first one from Jimenez for me is actually the better of the 2.
Take a breath, everyone. That is half-time. 3 goals, England with 2 of them, though Mexico crucially getting themselves back into this one. Jude Bellingham with 2 strikes for England, 99 seconds apart, but Julian Quiñones scoring 3 minutes before the break to keep Mexico in this game and give them a sniff at the moment of making the quarter-finals of the FIFA World Cup. At the break here at Mexico City Stadium, it's Mexico 1, England 2. Well, a chance for everyone, players, fans, everyone involved in this game here tonight to take a breath, because it has been breathless stuff, Andy Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, I think it was the hydration break which really got things going, because it was fairly cagey. Jimenez had that great chance, the only chance in the opening quarter of the game. Pickford made a brilliant save, but from that point on, the game just exploded into life. England exceptional. Bellingham supporting from midfield, attacking from deep, causing so many problems, but what a response from Mexico. Great resilience. They're back in the game.
But so far, England with just 31% possession, despite their 2 goals. Mexico well on top. 52% has been theirs so far, and they've finished the half on top as well. Well, with the body heat that's been generated in this place, I think any fans that were wet through before kick-off might just have dried out a little as this first half has gone on. It has been exhilarating.
Tony, la lectura del primer tiempo, ¿cuál es?
Bueno, creo que ha sido un partido bastante intenso, creo que hemos llevado bastante el dominio del balón, hemos llegado bien, hemos generado ocasiones. Lástima esos 2 errores que nos han costado los 2 goles, ellos aparte de eso creo que tampoco nos han generado nada. Creo que el partido estaba bastante controlado hasta el primer gol y bueno, una lástima. Nada, hay que seguir, creo que el equipo está dando muy buena imagen, está siendo muy ofensivo, está llegando bien y ese es el camino que tenemos que seguir si queremos remontar el partido.
Me di cuenta que muy pronto en el primer tiempo Edson Álvarez empezó a calentar. ¿Todo bien con César Montes?
Bueno, está con molestias, lleva con molestias pues antes del partido y bueno, estamos ahí por precaución, vamos a ver qué pasa.
¿Alguna modificación para la segunda mitad?
Bueno, ahora de momento vamos a intentar sobre todo ordenar 2 o 3 cositas que tenemos que ajustar. Creo que el equipo está bien, creo que si esas 2 o 3 cositas que tenemos que reajustar, tanto en las posibles vigilancias, transiciones y en tener un poco más de calma en esas circulaciones, yo creo que ahí el equipo dará un pasito adelante más. Venga, vosotros.
Gracias.
Well, Anthony, England do have the lead, but was there some frustration as to how the team managed the game at the end of that half?
No frustration. A full throttle match. Every minute feels like the 90th minute. We prepared our players that up until the first water break it would be a difficult game. We would have to suffer here. Mexico always start the game fast. We expected it. We knew at the water break that 0-0 would be a good result for us, and it was. From there, we had the quality to come into the game. Our two biggest moments and one of our biggest players scores. Jude does what he does. And then from there, it's disappointing to concede a goal from a set piece. You would like to make it to half-time at 2-0. But we never. The opponent's playing well. It's a good game, and now we have 45 minutes to go.
Thanks, Anthony.
The thoughts there of the two assistant coaches. Here are the stats and facts from the game so far.
Yeah, it's England have been really clinical. A lot less of the ball, but they've had opportunities. They've taken them, but there's still a long, long way to go because Mexico will not stop.
So a chance for everyone to take a seat. Seats that have scarcely been used so far. But great to see a real mix of the fans in with each other here tonight. What has made a superb occasion inside Mexico City Stadium for what is the final match of the World Cup here this year. Those England fans up beneath the big screen there had good views of the goals at the other end, but those down in the bottom tier had to wait a while to realise they had hit the net. And so a comparison of the two nines.
Yeah, Jimenez has had much better service from out wide, and the layoff from Quiñones. He'll be disappointed he's not scored. Pickford has been equal to him, but Harry Kane, he hasn't had a huge effect, but he created that opportunity unselfishly, pulling that ball back across the 6-yard box for Bellingham. So he's had an impact on the game, Kane, without scoring.
And this is where the two teams have attacked. We expected from Mexico that left side would be their favoured avenue.
Yeah, and many, many more final third entries as well. That's where you score most goals. So you can understand both teams really keen to get the ball in there. But I'm not surprised by the numbers here for Mexico. And England have got to be prepared that will continue to rise as the pressure on Mexico to get that equaliser increases. They're going to just commit more and more bodies into that final third to get the equaliser.
Plays at the base of midfield, but can play in the middle of defence as well. We'll see what that means for Mexico. We'll see whether Mexico can fight back or not. Brace yourselves, because this one is going to be a bumpy ride, given what we have seen so far in this tie. Mexico against England was always going to produce fireworks. So far, Jude Bellingham has become the first player to score twice at this stadium in a World Cup match since the great late Diego Maradona put two past Belgium in the semi-finals back in 1986. Now they have to score again to force extra time. Andy Hinchcliffe. Mexico have made a change. England staying as they are. How does this 45 play out?
That's a really interesting change. Aguirre, is it an injury to Montez? Is it tactical? Because Edson Alvarez can play at centre-half, vastly experienced as well. Is that why he's been sent on?
And Mexico have never won from 2 goals down previously. But back in 1998, did draw a couple of games, 2-2. Just to complete the picture, the only World Cup match that England have lost when being 2-0 up before was the quarter-final back in 1970 against their rivals West Germany. They lost by 3-2. 4 years after winning the trophy, the only time they've ever lifted the World Cup. Remember this, for the right to play Norway, who locked out Brazil earlier this afternoon. Now there by Kane.
I'm sure at half-time Thomas Tuchel would have said to his England players, cope with the Mexican onslaught. These bound to come in this second half. And then when the game settles down, can you find that attacking composure that was so evident in the first half with the Bellingham goals? But I do feel that England need a third goal, because Mexico, with the crowd behind them, the longer the game goes on, will take chances, could easily get an equaliser.
Sanchez up against O'Reilly. Quiñones making a run into the box, but the ball never reached him. Alvarez. His namesake Canelo, the famous Mexican boxer, exchanged handshakes with Harry Kane as he walked out for the second half. Here is Kane. He's chipped in with an assist so far, but hasn't been able to improve on his 5 goals at this tournament. Mora. Between two, but picked up by Lira. And Quiñones from way out. It was a speculative effort, to say the least. Gordon with a chance to run and stretch his legs here for England.
Yes, the wrong choice from Quiñones. He's got Jorge Sanchez powering forward from right back. That was the pass that he should have made. Don't shoot from there.
Gehi, born in Côte d'Ivoire, but moved to England at a young age. Gordon. England with O'Reilly. Oh, it was just too far in front of Harry Kane, and Saka didn't expect it.
Well, no England player really gambled there. It's brilliant work from O'Reilly. He plays at left back, but as we see when he plays for Manchester City and England, he'll break forward, he'll become an extra attacker. It's a brilliant cross, just no one's anticipated the quality that he delivered there.
So Gerard Quanta, who is a centre-half by trade, but Thomas Tuchel putting his faith in him at right back, where he has played for Liverpool, now with Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. O'Reilly on the volley, off the post, and away by Vasquez. Saka. Quanta. Mexico scrambling to clear. The frame of that goal still rattling. Konsa. Saka. Konsa. Gay. Gordon. Pick out to O'Reilly, but it bounces off his thigh. Lira. Anywhere will do for him. Konsa won the UEFA Europa League with his club side Aston Villa at the end of the club season in Istanbul. Pickford towards Gordon. Bellingham. Lovely turn. Wriggles away from another Jude Bellingham. Here he goes again. He has two, chasing a first ever career hat-trick. But he'll have to wait a while yet.
He was trying to be the English Maradona there, wasn't he? Just taking on all comers.
Yeah, England legend Sir Bobby Robson was in charge for each of the last 5 visits here for England, including that game against Argentina on the 22nd of June 1986. And at this point in the game, Maradona scored his first. Now, the Mexico bench absolutely livid here, and Guillermo Ochoa is fighting with one of the England officials. As the game continues here with Gordon, and both benches are scrapping as Gordon continues to come forward. He's taken down, but there is a melee down in front of us here, inside, or just outside rather, the 2 technical areas. It is all kicking off.
Yeah, it was a real flashpoint. The ball was played out wide. There was a crunching challenge that clearly the Mexico bench were not happy with at all, and it just went off from there. Ochoa really unhappy.
I think the 2 head coaches might find themselves in the book here, taking responsibility for their 2 respective benches. That's often the way it tends to happen, and everyone jumped up there to get involved.
Yeah, I think it's the fact, actually, and they've got a point, because, Kwanzaa, he jumps into the challenge, his boot is off the ground, he's over the top of the ball. That's a red card challenge. It's horrible. And I can understand why Ochoa and those Mexican substitutes were so unhappy. That was a really poor challenge from Kwanzaa. He's a lucky boy, and they're going to look at this.
And Kwanzaa is going to be walking here, I'm sure. The referee taking instruction for VAR, Nicola Gallo of Colombia. Here's the freeze frame.
I think you need one look at it, and you know what the decision's going to be. It's a horrible challenge. It's completely unnecessary. He gets off his feet, he's over the top of the ball, he's endangering an opponent. There can only be one outcome here.
Here comes the referee.
He received a red. Number 26 commits a serious foul play. He received a red card.
Tarjeta roja, red card. England might lead by 1, but they're down to 10. Yet another red card inside this stadium. We have already had 4 straight red cards in this World Cup here at Mexico City Stadium. Make that 5.
Well, Kwanzaa, naturally, he's going to be unhappy. England are going to be unhappy. Their fans are going to be unhappy. But it's absolutely the right decision. It is a terrible challenge. Again, you look at red cards, you look at the criteria. That ticks the boxes. He has to go off.
Jarell Kwanzaa answering England's need by filling in at right back, but they have another problem there now. Well, Thomas Tuchel thanked Anthony Barry, who sat alongside him there, for his idea previously of putting Declan Rice at right back when they needed someone to go there. It'll be interesting to see whether they go down that avenue again. It is a second senior red card for Jarell Kwanzaa. He was sent off in the English lower leagues when he was on loan at Bristol Rovers against Portsmouth some 3 years ago, but this one has huge significance. And the Mexican crowd very much enthused by that. Alvarado's free kick. Kane on defensive duty, and he was caught late. I mean, this game's had just about everything so far, hasn't it? You don't know which way it's going to go next.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the decision that Thomas Tuchel makes here, who he puts it right back, whether he takes somebody off and maybe plays Konza there, sticks Stones on, does he play Declan Rice in there? That is a massive decision. That could be pivotal in terms of England winning this game. And how far they go in the World Cup, it's a massive decision for Thomas Tuchel. Brilliant defending, though, from Harry Kane there.
What about this stadium, the home of the red cards? There haven't been so many in the tournament so far, but this place produced 3 on the opening day of the tournament. Piero Hincapié was sent off here for Ecuador against Mexico in the last round as well, deep in added time. But England, unfortunately from their point of view, have a lot of time to see out here with just 10.
Yeah, and I can't argue with any of the red cards that we've seen so far, but this was the Nico O'Reilly shot that just took a touch off Bellingham onto the post. That would have made it 3-1. Stroke of luck really for Mexico, and then the sending off, silly challenge from Konza. It's still 2-1, and now the extra man is a long, long way to go.
Of course, it's one side's misfortune, but the Mexican fans now are absolutely ravenous for a second goal.
Yeah, initially it looks like Declan Rice is just dropping into play right back. Bellingham will then play a little bit deeper, so it'll leave England short in attacking numbers, but that does make sense if you don't want to put another substitute on.
And Mexico well up for this here. They've got a spring in their step, their tails are up. Vasquez, England ready to bring on John Stones here, which will surely mean that Konza goes to right back. Here's Quiñones, lovely flick and turn. Shame about the finish. Well, those England fans watching on nervously now. And it's going to be Bukayo Saka who's taken off here.
It's hard for him to take. You've got to sacrifice an attacking player to get on another defender and get Konza in there at right back. He's one of the most natural defender to play in that position that England have left. Well, we do say it time and time again that sometimes, yes, you can have the extra man, but it's not always easy to break down a team that are one short, so Mexico can't just presume it'll work for them.
Oh, and a challenge here, and the referee has pointed to the spot. The 10 men of England have a penalty. Anthony Gordon receiving the congratulations for his desire to get there. Raul Rangel flat out on the ground because he knows that he has given England a big chance to seal the win.
What an opportunity now for England to kill the game off, and it's Anthony Gordon. It's just his anticipation. You know, he's not caught on his heels. As the ball is played towards Harry Kane, he just takes a chance, he gambles, and then he sprints. And it's just that sprint, that change of pace, gets to the ball first. All it needs is a touch past the goalkeeper, and Rangel has committed himself. It absolutely is a penalty, but it's just brilliant work from Anthony Gordon, taking a chance, supporting Kane, and an opportunity now for Harry Kane, presumably, to kill this game off.
No punishment for Rangel, he was trying to win the ball. And now the mind games go on with the penalties.
You've got to remember as well, Jude Bellingham, he scored a couple of goals. Does he fancy taking this to get a hat-trick at the Azteca? But again, it's all important is getting that third goal, getting 2 goals ahead. So surely you give it to your penalty taker, which is Harry Kane.
Well, England's first goal of this World Cup was the Harry Kane penalty against Croatia in Houston. And now he will step up for England. Missed a penalty against France in the quarter-finals of the World Cup in 2022. Since then, he has scored 48 of 51 spot kicks.
Yeah, he's normally so cool and composed. If you look at world football, certainly European football, there's no striker better than Harry Kane. Once he puts that ball on the spot, he's nerveless, really. Let's hope he can hold his nerve here from an England perspective and strike this home. The England fans behind that goal as well, willing the ball home.
Rangel with all the delaying tactics here. And who can blame him? This, a massive moment for England, a massive moment in Mexico's footballing history. Harry Kane, who has 5 goals at the World Cup already, against Raul Rangel. It's England's King Kane who strikes again for the Three Lions. And that will surely seal the deal now. England can look ahead to Miami next Saturday. 3-1 up in the Azteca. And Mexico once again climbing a mountain.
Well, you've got to give Anthony Gordon a huge amount of credit for winning the penalty. Then it's down to Harry Kane. It's Kane that composed. Never looked like missing, did he really? Couple of deep breaths. He absolutely whips that with his instep. It's into the side netting. It's unsavable. Rangel goes the right way. There's too much pace on it, too much accuracy. It's a huge goal in the contest.
A 73rd goal of the season for Harry Kane. He is having the campaign of a lifetime. A World Cup classic is developing here in Mexico City as Mexico make a double change as they bring on Santiago Jimenez and Brian Gutierrez. Gilberto Mora couldn't make his impact felt here. He goes off, and Luis Romo also given the curly finger by the manager.
Well, Javier Aguirre will be absolutely devastated. Kwanzaa makes a silly challenge. They've got the extra man. They're 2-1 up. And then they just go to sleep. They don't gift the goal away. It's down to Anthony Gordon and him sprinting after the ball. He makes it happen, but Aguirre will be devastated that they've gone, again, 2 goals behind with having that extra man.
Gay. Jimenez challenging from behind. The referee letting play go on here as well. Kane is fouled there, though. Well, Mexico can afford to throw caution to the wind at this point. Those Mexican legends will be disappointed by what they're seeing now. It was all set up for them to really put a dent into this competition and show that they mean business against one of the favourites. But it looks like now England with 3 goals, albeit with half an hour to play, might have enough. Quiñones, who gave Mexico something to work with. Gallardo, strong defending there by John Stones, who has come on.
Yeah, the Mexico change of shape, change of personnel. It's more of a 4-4-2 now. They have to go for it.
Here it comes. Pickford gets enough on it for now. Alvarado. Gutierrez. Sliding challenge. Some claims of handball. Pickford takes it in his hands.
Well, of course, England have that 2-goal lead, but they've got to stand firm for the next 10 minutes or so. No, don't give a goal away. Don't encourage Mexico back into the contest. Positive goalkeeper from Pickford is going to need to do that more and more, because Mexico surely are going to pile forward.
Kane. One more goal for him, and he would be the outright most by any England player at a single World Cup. Gordon. It's really turning up the heat again. Sent there by Vasquez.
Well, Anthony Gordon came on against Congo and really had a huge effect on the game. 2 assists for the Kane goals, and I think that's why he's forced his way into the starting 11 here, and he's performed well.
Quiñones. Looks like the Mexican fans celebrating so often in the last few weeks. What is it about this stadium delivering memorable nights? Games of football you just won't forget. Gallardo gets his space for the cross, and Stones with a slice out of play for a corner. He hasn't played too many minutes at this tournament. He started the opening game, but was an unused substitute for the next two in the group stage and came on in added time in England's win against Congo DR. He is on the search for a new club at the moment as well, having been released by Manchester City. Alvarado, England with everyone back. Hooked in high. Gutierrez. Alvarado will have another go. Quinones. Twisting and turning past Kane, and a nice pick out as well. They've got four in the box here, Mexico. Comes in towards Alvarez, it still might be there. Kane trying to clear. Mexico claiming for a penalty of their own. Here's Quinones. They nearly lost it there to Bellingham. Free kick. But they're still appealing here for a spot kick. And Lira, although they've got a free kick, is actually marching towards the penalty area with the ball because he thinks they're going to have a chance from 12 yards.
Yeah, they're going to appeal for absolutely everything. Every time that ball goes into the England box, any challenges the England defenders make, they're going to be appealing for it. I think it's Kane who actually kicks through Gutierrez. It's just slightly laboured the England captain, and very risky and maybe slightly fortunate to get away with it.
This game is not done, but a VAR check for a possible penalty is ongoing at the moment. And the way this game has gone, you can rule nothing out.
I feel if England were 3-1 up with 11 against 11, it would be very, very difficult for Mexico to get back. But they do have that extra man. But of course, you know, they need to get a quick goal back. If they do that, I think it's very much game on again.
And the referee is going to the screen again. This is remarkable. An astonishing night here in Mexico City is about to take another turn.
And I can't say I'm surprised, because that ball bounces. Harry Kane is slightly laboured. He just kicks through Gutierrez, who gets to the ball first. And I'm going to be slightly surprised if a penalty's not given for this.
Here's the challenge again as Kane kicks through. There can be no complaints. It's a foul. Kane, though, standing on the touchline, watching the referee, looking at the monitor, pleading his innocence, but there can be no claim.
Yeah, I think Kane, he just doesn't realise that Gutierrez is on his shoulder, so he's taken maybe a split second too long to hook that ball clear. That enables Gutierrez just to get a foot on the ball first.
The referee will announce his decision to the crowd.
Number 9 kicks off, and the final decision is penalty.
Penalty, Mexico! They've been given at both ends now. A sensational night of football. And now another penalty.
Yeah, I just think Harry Kane is it's just that laboured nature of the clearance, just takes a little bit too long to get there, kicks through his man. I do feel it is a foul. If that was on the halfway line, you'd give that as a foul, so I can understand the penalty's been given. Looks like Raul Jimenez is going to take this. Can he be as nerveless as Harry Kane was down the other end?
Yellow card shown by the official Alireza Fahani. Just trying to see who it is who has been cautioned there. Well, Harry Kane, a supreme penalty taker for England. His name is the man, as the yellow card associated to it now, but Raul Jimenez is an expert penalty taker himself for Mexico. Of his 47 goals for the national team, 15 have been penalties. He does love a hop, skip and a jump against Jordan Pickford, who has saved 4 of 14 that he has faced at World Cups and European Championships. Jimenez to bring it back to 1. Raul Jimenez! The crowd are on their feet again. This World Cup epic is far from done.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the stop-start penalty, but this is really clever from Jimenez. Shows all his experience with the spot kick. He just allows Jordan Pickford just to move slightly to his left. He sees that happen, and he just whips the ball to Pickford's right, and it's game on again. I know the England fans, England players won't be happy with the sending off and the penalty award, but they are the right decisions. But you see Jordan Pickford, he just takes a step to his left. Jimenez sees that because he's delayed, and then just passes the ball simply to his right. And what a night we've had, and we've not finished yet.
Si, senor. It is Mexico 2, England 3. Here's Kane. England coming again with Gordon. Frantic, frenzied, and ferocious. Kane, challenged by Gutierrez, no foul. The referee is ready to blow now, and he has given England a free kick. We have got 20 minutes to go. I wish we had 2 hours left of this. It is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we've got a game within a game. If you're a fan of Mexico or England, this is nerve-shredding. But if you're in neutral, this is just fantastic. We'll take as many minutes of this type of game as we can get. It's a brilliant penalty from Jimenez. It's just that little stop-start that he makes. He sees Pickford go and then just passes it simply in the other corner. And he needed to tuck that home. Mexico needed him to tuck that home to give them an opportunity to turn this around.
The looks of those England faces, worried and concerned. Many of them have paid so much to be here, especially those who booked last-minute flights across the Atlantic in the last few days. Yellow card shown by the referee, who is going to be a busy man in what remains. But just to illustrate the picture here, as I look around this stadium, Mexico fans on their feet everywhere you look. Toilet rolls flying down, flags being waved. This place right now is an absolute circus. And we head into the hydration break in what has been a 5-goal thriller. And I'm starting to run out of words to describe what has been one of the great World Cup matches I have ever seen. Referee with his notebook out. I should just address that the yellow card that was previously attributed to Harry Kane actually went to Mark Gehi, and it was Jorge Sanchez who was just yellow carded for Mexico. A good measure. Nico O'Reilly's got into the book as well. Andy Hinchcliffe, what happens next?
Well, I think this hydration break has come at a good time. Of course, for the players just to have a drink, the coaches to have their say, but also for everybody in this stadium, everybody watching at home, just take a big deep breath, because we have got the most exhilarating final quarter of the game to come, maybe more if Mexico get that equaliser. And I say, as a neutral, I just think we'll just take as much of this kind of game as we can do. Both sides really going at it. I think it's really summed the tournament up as well, this game. You know, it's not about dominating the ball, it's about possession, it's about winning 1-0, it's about attacking, it's about scoring goals. It's been quite brilliant.
And why we love this sport, the beautiful game, so much. And by all accounts, England gave to the world, but countries continue to throw back in their face. Tonight, Mexico, who are fighting with everything they've got inside this stadium. Players, staff, head coach, 75,000 of this crowd, and it has been an utter delight to be here to witness it. And Mexico has given so much to this World Cup as well, hosting here in Mexico City. Guadalajara have finished their allocation of games with Spain against Uruguay, games in Monterrey as well. This is where it ends for this beautiful country, and it ends with the best match of all.
Yeah, and it's another example of how football can surprise you. Leading into the game, we're all talking about maybe there'll be a goal or two. It'd be incredibly tight. I mentioned that in the opening quarter of the game, and it was tight. But it's just really opened up. We've got 5 goals, and I'm anticipating more.
Thomas Tuchel will be a stressed man right now. He thought the 15 to 20 minutes at the start of the game was going to be tough. Try the 15 minutes or 20 minutes at the end of it.
Yeah, if Thomas Tuchel is stressed, imagine the emotions of Javier Aguirre, because this side are behind, they're chasing it.
Man who's played at World Cups past for his country, now managing them. Well, Nico O'Reilly has been taken off here, and Big Dan Burn, as he's affectionately known, at his hometown club of Newcastle United. 6'7", coming on at the back here. And they are going to take off Elliot Anderson. Jed Spence has come on for O'Reilly at left back. So England making a double switch.
Yeah, presumably they're going to change to a back five, play an extra centre half, because they're expecting, you know, Mexico to really get that ball into the box time and time again. So a change in shape. It's a really defensive setup. Can they keep Mexico out with this back five, and can they maybe carry a threat on the counter-attack? We'll see.
Dan Burns, World Cup debut. What a place to make it. As Lady Gaga echoed around the Pumas training ground yesterday, I was watching Burns struggle and in a bit of a rondo between the players in their warm-up. He really has to get his head into things now, as Mexico come forward with Gallardo. Gutierrez. Lira. Mexico will give absolutely everything to the cause now. I'm sure this will be a pattern that remains in what is left in this exhilarating encounter. Raul Jimenez on the volley, couldn't quite. Spence to safety.
Well, of course, Aguirre in Mexico, they'll assess how England have reshaped to with the three big centre halves. So any of their crossing is going to have to be pinpoint perfect.
Gallardo. Pickford came for it, miscommunication there with the defender Byrne in front of him. England seemingly going for brawn over brains right now, backing themselves physically to get through this. Gallardo in low towards Quiñones. I think for Mexico there's got to be no rush about things here. They still have plenty of time, 15 minutes of normal time. We've had so many stoppages, there's probably the best part of half an hour left.
Yes, it's about patience and it's about precision. They've got to work their way to that equaliser. England are just defending their way to the win. That's what they're looking to do. So can Mexico break them down?
Gallardo. Fidalgo is waiting in the wings to come on. Oh, Santiago Jimenez there attempting the overhead. Wasn't to be for the Milan striker. Alvarez. Mexico stretching the pitch far and wide. Waiting for that moment, trying to get that delivery. In long towards Quiñones, Consa's header. Gallardo. Quiñones. Gets the ball forward. Into the path he wanted, Alvarez. Now they mix it up. Gutierrez. Well, Ben won. He went for low one in the end. But he'll keep it in play. Gutierrez in. Good ball it was as well. Byrne heading away, just what his coach wanted him to do.
Yeah, England, when they get the ball beyond the halfway line, they've got to squeeze up, they've got to get away from the edge of their own penalty area. They're getting pinned in. It's understandable, but they've got to try and get up the pitch if they can.
Another full house of 80,824 inside Mexico City Stadium. Gallardo hoists it high and Jed Spence has to nod behind. Mexico corner.
Yeah, England just starting to look a little bit laboured. Konsa there really struggling to stay with Gallardo. There's no way Konsa was going to block that cross, and he's just stretching out his calves as well. I think England are really going to feel it next 10 minutes or so.
Could feel the anxiety from up here. So they take off the right back, Jorge Sanchez. And on comes central midfielder Álvaro Fidalgo of Real Betis, who was born in northwestern Spain, but Mexico is his team. Corner ball. Mexico packing the box. Pickford comes. Not sure if he got anything on it. He did. It's a corner.
Yeah, you can understand that change. They don't need defenders now, Mexico, because England's struggling to get to the halfway line. So send on another attacking midfielder, because you're dominating the ball, you're dominating the game.
England deeper than my feet have been in the floods of Mexico since we've been here. Alvarado in, corner again. Time here in Mexico City has just gone at 20-9. The game that started an hour late has really made up for it. Alvarado trying to pick someone out in green, though it's easier said than done. Oh, a free header. They couldn't be directed towards goal. Quiñones was coming in round the back as well. But Alvarez wondering how he hasn't made that 3 each.
Oh, it's an away swinging corner, but it's fairly flat. Doesn't leave the 6-yard box, and it's just a mistimed header from the experienced midfielder.
Sometimes you just have to take your headphones off here to sample the noise as it is for the vast majority of this crowd. Another change coming. Guillermo Martinez, another striker who plays here in the city for Pumas. You cannot take your eyes off this as we enter the final 10 of normal time. Mexico, Mexico, chant the home fans. Is their World Cup going to come crashing down here? England away again through Bellingham, but they just cannot get out of their own defensive third. Mexico substitution, and they're going to take off Julian Quiñones. It's not a game for him now, is it? The space in behind has gone.
Yeah, but it's still a big call. Your World Cup top scorer to take him off. It's brave from Aguirre, but it does make sense.
Aguirre said before that it'd be boring if everyone rated him and praised him. He quite likes the fact that sometimes he gets things said against him that not everyone will agree with. Keeps football interesting. Vasquez, Fidalgo. Low, but touched on and over. Over by Santiago Jimenez.
Yeah, it's a difficult chance. He's moving on to the ball. It's a pacey ball in as well. He's just looking to flick it goalwards, just gets underneath it too much.
The England fans trying to give Harry Kane and co some support, but getting absolutely drowned out here by this home fan. This home crowd, rather. Mexico have each of the last 5 attempts in this game, and the onslaught keeps on coming. Fidalgo. Everyone over halfway now for Mexico, bar the goalkeeper. Alvarado in. Such a cluster of bodies in there, which in the end is England's gain.
There's maybe a bit of good fortune there for Mark Gahey, but he deserves it because he's aggressive. He's got 3 green shirts around him, but he attacks the ball, gets his head on it.
Five goals, a red card, 2 penalties. What more do you want? These 2 teams have given so much, but one of them will end tonight. But Mexico trying to force extra time here with an equaliser. England defending well enough. Back out to Edson Alvarez. Now he's still contracted to an English club, West Ham United in the East End of London. Has spent the season on loan on the Asian side of Istanbul at Fenerbahce. Gallardo trying to get his yard, constantly going every inch of the way with him. It's a Mexico corner. England, I think, claiming that the call should be reversed here, and it has been. Sometimes player reaction is something to go off. Of course, the referee not going off it, but from our point of view, you can sometimes tell when a referee might have got something wrong.
It's just maybe a slight slip there from Dan Burn, bounced the ball, caught him out, but Jed Spence round on the cover, brilliant reactions, not once but twice.
Concentration levels absolutely key for England especially, but for Mexico as well, because they've got to do everything right now. Spence goes up, here's Kane. England still driving themselves with Bellingham. Jimenez can't hold it in a real physical battle there, and he's given away the free kick.
That's brilliant from Konza, just uses his strength, gets his body in between man and ball. It's what England need. Cheap free kick, just aggressive defensive play. They get the free kick, just slows Mexico's momentum down. England get back on the ball. They manage to get into the Mexico half.
goes the clock. If you're a fan of England right now, it's going mighty slow. If you're a fan of Mexico, it's probably going too quick. But the neutrals in the middle, they're enjoying every second. Rice, and the ball in that was difficult to attack. Everything very, very congested in there. Bellingham emerges with it. But his 2 goals had England 2-0 up. But it was never going to be easy for either side. Vamos, shout the home crowd as Mexico come again. Gallardo. Alvarez. Alvarado. Oh, that's a great ball in. England with bodies in there. The fans behind the goal thought Santiago Jimenez or Raul Jimenez, or someone at least, was pulled down. They're claiming it was a shirt pull.
I think there's 3 England defenders around. I think it's Raul Jimenez, and he's convinced that he was grabbed hold of.
No penalty, says the referee. Arms outstretched. He'll be forgiven for thinking this is the World Cup final, let alone a round of 16 tie. Everything on the line here for these two. Gallardo. Fidalgo has time and space. Pickford comes, and crucially gets there. Fidalgo. They're trying to find the room, trying to find that quality from wide areas. This is attack versus defence. They do it so often in training. Raul Jimenez trying to turn. Offside flag goes up, and England can breathe.
I think that's it. Gehi round on the cover. It's got a bit of the Jimenez shirt. I mentioned it earlier, positive goalkeeping Jordan Pickford. He's going to need to keep doing that just to alleviate the pressure, the understandable pressure his centre-halves in particular are going to be under here.
Exhilarating and exhausting for everyone. It has been emotionally draining. Fans young, fans old, enjoying this right to the very end. There might be a few tears shed here if the score stays as is at the moment. Just pity those who are in bed and unable to watch. Gallardo stones out. Conser further, although he sent it back. Bellingham with the overhead away. England keeping it tight, keeping it narrow. Alvarado. Trying to find that yard. Bit of luck there for Mexico. They'll come back out with Lira. Diving header away by Byrne again. Heavy touch. Bellingham might have gone in for that. Does go in for that and does win the ball. Here's Kane. No foul. The referee right on it. Raul Jimenez. Gallardo hoists it. Stands it up towards Raul Jimenez. It was towards Santiago of the same name. 2 minutes left of the 90 and then all eyes on the fourth official. No one dare leave. No one has the guts. Fidalgo. He winds up for the effort. Straight at Pickford, who spills it, but will grab it second time around.
It's fairly comfortable for the England goalkeeper. Plenty of power. I think Bellingham just gets maybe a slight touch, takes some of the pace off it, but it's right at the England goalkeeper. It's where he wants it.
There have actually only been 3 attempts on target for both teams combined since the half-time whistle. Plenty of attempts overall, but neither goalkeeper massively tested, aside from the goals themselves. Javier Aguirre might be in the final minutes as Mexico head coach here, because Rafa Marquez, his assistant, is going to take over from him following this World Cup. Morgan Rogers coming on here for Harry Kane, which is surely fresh legs at this stage. The armband is handed over, and John Stones will take control of the team, but Kane departs the scene.
And as it stands, no surprise, Harry Kane, the match winner.
Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa. It's the man who comes on here. Looks like Bellingham's going to play the furthest forward at the moment. Certainly aimed towards him here from Stones. He's lost it. He's given away the free kick. So be careful, Bellingham. A yellow card for him in the closing stages here would see him ruled out of any potential quarter-final. Added time, 11 minutes to come. 11. Is there going to be quite the finale here for Mexico to force extra time? Pickford comes again and holds it.
Yeah, it's not the greatest ball in. But again, the England goalkeeper's got to be positive, make his mind up early, come off his line, be brave. It's 3 occasions now he's done that.
Well, it's been this stage so often for Mexico where they've fallen out of the group stage in Qatar 4 years ago. Before that, 7th consecutive round of 16 exits for them. 15 attempts to 5 for Mexico overall in this game. But Mexico ultimately on the wrong end of the scoreline at the moment. Lira. Fidalgo. Gallardo. England sprinting to reach him. Fidalgo. Gallardo. Off Concert. It runs for a corner to Mexico. They're running out of time. Tired mentally, tired physically. But have they got something more to give to this phenomenal game of football? In by Gutierrez, Pickford again. He's really backed himself in those situations recently. Here's Fidalgo. Alvarado. Gutierrez. Long and past everyone.
That's just that sense of urgency now for Mexico. They're just overcooking their balls into the box. Yes, England have got the defensive numbers, a positive goalkeeper, but Mexico so far haven't found that crossing quality they desperately need.
Pickford taking his time. Thomas Tuchel's men almost over the line. They will take a victory any which way possible. Juan Carlos Osorio, the former Colombia head coach, said it was going to be altitude, be attitude tonight. Have England just about got that right if they do get there?
I think this will be an incredible result for them, considering what they've been through during the course of the game. There's still a long, long way to go, though.
Eight minutes thereabouts left. Gordon. England unable to spring a counter in this kind of position yet, but Bellingham has gone for goal here from absolutely way out. An effort on target. Spence was running away to his left-hand side. He puts a hand up in apology. Mexico starting to get desperate. They've got to get bodies forward. They've got to get good quality deliveries in there. Vasquez. Gallardo. On his swinger. And so it proved.
It's so difficult when you're chasing the game. The clock is running down, just to make the right choices, make the right decisions. It's so difficult because you're chasing the game and you rush things.
Heart rates of everyone in this stadium right now going through the roof. But this is why we love it. This is why we're all involved. For nights like this. That's what makes it the greatest sport there's ever been. England desperate for the throw in there. Thomas Tuchel and his coaching staff absolutely livid that they haven't got the decision. The throw goes Mexico's way and it's already been taken. Tuchel is going absolutely crazy at the assistant down in front of us here. But Mexico continue. They're not bothered. Fidalgo. They need to get the ball in. Now they do. And it's left. And England had it covered.
It's a great shout there from Jordan Pickford. He knows the ball is been overhit. He screams at his defenders to duck underneath it. Stones hears him.
Makes a brave man to move out of the way in that situation. Nails down to the bottom. England players off the field watching on now from a letterbox view beneath us. Mexico flooding forward with numbers as they have to do. Gallardo. Fidalgo. Raul Jimenez going for the overhead. That would have been absolutely incredible. A dangerous attempt given who was attacking him from behind, but he can score any kind of goal. That's what makes him so special. There are still over 5 minutes for England to hold out here. Still 5 minutes for Mexico to take this to another 30. Fidalgo. Alvarez, blocked by Rice. He hasn't really been a passenger in this game in recent times, but we haven't mentioned him for such a long time.
The England players just putting their bodies on the line there. First Dan Burn, then Declan Rice. It's what's needed.
Edson Alvarez. Fidalgo. Alvarez. Is the Azteca about to fall flat? Oh, a small pocket of England fans who are really going through the mill right now. Back out and over to this near side. Fidalgo. They keep switching it. They keep trying to move England around. Gallardo. Oh, that's better. Raul Jimenez. Such a versatile player in the way he can adjust, but just couldn't quite get over it.
Yeah, even for an experienced striker, that is a really difficult chance. Normally just sweep your left foot at that. He's trying to get it, adjust his body, take it with the instep of his right boot. Really difficult opportunity.
There are fans around us with their head in their hands on their head. Whichever way they're doing it, they are really struggling to watch this right now because their dream is about to be shattered. England throw. Been a reasonably quiet 10 or 15 minutes by this game standards. You get the feeling there might be another big moment in it before we close. Bellingham throwing his arms up in the air there, and that is a very, very silly yellow card for him to pick up. As he riles the Mexico fans, he is out of the quarter-final if England get there.
That is absolutely devastating. Of course, you would want to see this game through, but Bellingham, how naive was that?
Also a yellow card, I think, for Jordan Henderson, one of the England subs there, who was doing something the referee didn't like on the sideline. England have the ball, something they haven't had for quite some time. Mexico pushing. Vasquez goes into the book as well. Spence sliding in. He did win the ball, but he does concede the corner.
Yeah, it's actually somewhat of a surprise to see Spence out there. We were told he was injured, wouldn't maybe play any part in the game, but had to really dig deep.
Well, Mexico down to 10 themselves at the moment. They've got a player down off the field. But they have made all their subs. So 10 v 10. It looks like it's going to be for the final 2 minutes. The corner whipped in, the flick header. Pickford will grab that.
Well, the ball just seemed to, I think, hit Martinez. It was whipped in, it was missed at the near post. I just think it bounces off the Mexican striker into the grateful arms of Pickford.
England now just seconds away from becoming the third ever team to win a competitive match in this stadium. Mexico haven't lost at home in any stadium since 2018. They haven't lost here since 2013. Confirmation of the yellow card for Henderson. He's down there as a cheerleader at the moment. England can't make any more subs, nor can Mexico. Burn across. He's actually managed to keep that in. Mexico City Stadium, stands as one. The hosts, the co-hosts, on the verge of going out of the World Cup. They've got 45 seconds or thereabouts to save themselves. This would be a special moment if they can find the net. It has to happen for them. Jimenez! And away by Rodgers. This edging further and further away from El Tri now, who have to make it happen. This is it. Their World Cup hangs by a thread. They're playing with 10. The stretch is coming for the man off on the far side. They've got to get it into the box here. England standing in a line across the edge of their own penalty area. Alvarado for the final time, maybe. In it comes. Jimenez is in there, and it creeps just past the post. It's a corner to Mexico with seconds to go.
Just one final opportunity. They took an age to get the ball into the box, but it very nearly broke for them. England absolutely hanging on here.
The goalkeeper, Rangel, is forward. You can't miss him. And Mexico can't afford to miss this. Byrne gets the header away. Jimenez through a crowd. It's still a chance for Mexico, and it's blocked over again. Another corner right at the death.
Well, this is why Dan Byrne was brought on. He's an absolute giant, just launching himself at these goal-bound shots. Brilliant block.
Everyone around us here baying for the ball to hit the net. All the benches are up. Everyone standing on the sideline. This is it. In it comes. Pickford with the punch away. And there ends a World Cup classic. England knock out the co-hosts in their own back garden. Mexico are out of the World Cup as England go through to the quarter-finals. It's coming home. The lyrics of Three Lions echo around this stadium. The song the Mexicans never wanted to hear, but their journey ends here at the end of one of the great games of this or any World Cup finals.
What an absolutely breathtaking, extraordinary match. Neither side deserved to go out of the World Cup on kind of their effort and the quality they showed during the course of this game, but England have won it. And for England, I think there were major questions. Do they tactically, technically have the ability to win? Can they cope with the conditions, the atmosphere? And the answer is an emphatic yes to both those questions. The rearguard action in the final 15 minutes was incredible.
So much to discuss, so much to pick apart, but a full-time score here at Mexico City Stadium of Mexico 2, England 3. England played for 35 minutes plus of that second half with just 10 men after Jarell Quansah's red card. 5 goals, 2 penalties, so much to take from this game. One of the greatest matches I've ever had the privilege of being at.
Absolutely, no wonder there's tears from the Mexican players. They've done so well to get to this point. The expectation was there that they could beat England, and I understand that completely. Heartbreaking for Ochoa and all those Mexican players and fans, the whole country as well. They'll be devastated. But England, you know, what tenacity, what quality. They're coming into a footballing cauldron here, and they coped. They managed to get the job done, and extraordinary from an England perspective. And Mexico gave it absolutely everything, just came up short.
And the tears are flowing now, understandably for Mexico. The third time they've hosted the World Cup. but this time they don't reach the quarters as previous in 1970 and 1986. Alvarado has given so much to this team over the last few weeks, but for he and his teammates, the journey ends here. Jude Bellingham with a very costly yellow card at the end of it all here. I'm sure for him, delight tinged with sadness that he won't play against Norway in their next game. But Harry Kane helped them on their way. Ultimately, the ultimate match winner. His penalty, half an hour from time. But I'm sure Thomas Tuchel, when speaking after this, will be talking about the real team effort that went into winning this.
Yeah, it was very much a team effort. That's why I mentioned the last kind of 15 minutes, because England really dug deep. But Bellingham and Kane, they were absolute giants again for England.
Delight for Harry Kane and his head coach, Thomas Tuchel. It does actually seem as though Bellingham didn't get the yellow card at the end. It was just a yellow card for Henderson. We have to correct that. So as things stand, Bellingham will play in their next match. The fallout from this one will continue, but England's heading towards their fans behind the goal now, who had a big rendition of Oasis's Wonderwall at the previous game, and it looks like it will be the same again. Bellingham with a brace in the first half to give England a 2-0 lead. It was that man, Julian Quiñones, who gave Mexico hope at the break. Quansah sent off 10 minutes into the second half, but 6 minutes after that, Kane dispatching a penalty. But then Mexico with a penalty of their own as Raul Jimenez struck. But it's the Three Lions who march on, and they will fly back north tonight with a spring in their exhausted step.
Yeah, just a word on the England fans as well. Massively outnumbered here at the Mexico City Stadium, but you can hear their voices. They really did as much as they could possibly do to get their team over the line, and the team responded magnificently.
And these scenes are scenes to savour. Those England fans on the other side of the world, England fans back home, some who couldn't wait up to watch the game, some who are waking up, eating their cornflakes, and now looking back on the highlights of a England classic. The memories of '86 in the past. England have come here and won, and this is the memory of this stadium they'll hold on to now. Arm in arm, celebrate with those fans behind the goal. This is a night they will remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, for those England players who are coming to play Mexico in this stadium, it was a test, yes, of footballing ability, but it was a test of character and resilience, and to a man they have passed both those tests.
The Mexico fans were booing the sounds of Oasis pre-match here with the rain delay that we had. They're now just accepting the scenes that are playing out in front of them. The England players jumping the advertising hoardings to be as close to the fans as they can possibly be. This is their night in Mexico City. And no one wearing the white and red of England will be going to bed anytime soon.
Well, the only thing that England can do to top this is to go on and win the World Cup, and the belief that this will instill in the England players. They know they're good enough, but coming to a stadium like this, under the circumstances, the altitude, the emotion, the intensity of the Mexican fan base, it was just the biggest test. Many of these players, even though they're brilliant players, played in huge competitions, this was a massive test that they passed.
And so the curtain comes down here at Mexico City Stadium. Guillermo Ochoa, retiring after this competition, knows it all ends here for him. Such sad scenes, his 6th World Cup, the 4th that he's played in as well. But for Mexico, they just didn't have the quality to force this one to extra time. And for the 3rd time, an Aztecazo has come to pass. Honduras and Costa Rica, the only 2 teams to win a meaningful game in this stadium previously. England adding their name to this list now. And Andy Hinchcliffe, we have to talk about this stadium as well as Mexico, because this might be the last ever World Cup game we see here.
Absolutely, that'll be so sad if that's the case, but just a word for Mexico. They've given so much to this competition, the Mexican fans, the Mexico City Stadium. It's been absolutely extraordinary, and as I said, I don't think either team really deserved to lose tonight, because they've given the tournament, they've given this game absolutely everything.
But football can be cruel. It can bring out the best and the worst emotions inside a human being, and Mexico are feeling the bottom end of that scale right now. But their fans staying here to salute their heroes who have given them such an enjoyable few weeks. Before tonight they hadn't conceded a goal, they hadn't not won a game, but they met their match. An emotional time for Raúl Jiménez in what has been a real up and down year for him. Mexico going on a lap of appreciation, and their fans have added such colour and vibrancy, passion, noise and support to this tournament. It is sad to see them leave the scene.
It's great to see so many of the Mexican fans staying in the stadium, applauding their team's effort. Yes, they've lost tonight's game. It could have gone their way, it didn't, but they still the fans appreciate that their team have done everything possible to try and get through.
Emotions so raw, feelings burning inside as they wave to their loved ones in the crowd.
But of course, I think you have to feel it more when you're hosts as well, that expectation that you can go a long, long way in the competition, and it's absolutely heartbreaking for them to fall, especially in the manner that it's happened tonight. The opportunities were there and didn't really take them.
And so, the responsibility falls to the United States of America. Canada out, Mexico go as well. And now, we wait to see whether Mauricio Pochettino and his side can keep it going as they look to become the first host since 1998 to lift the trophy when France were victorious in Paris. Here is how it ended. Andy Hinchcliffe, where do you start to pull apart this game?
Just absolutely extraordinary. Again, you look at Mexico, their dominance in terms of attempts. Not having attempts is one thing, putting the ball at the back of the net is the important thing. In England's expected goals, the quality of chances they created were higher, and then you got Bellingham and Kane on the end of those chances. That's why they won tonight.
The Lucha Libre masks out in force tonight, as they have been throughout the tournament. And this is what it means now. Norway against England, a tie in Miami on Saturday. A 6 o'clock kickoff local time, and then they'll look to the other half of the draw as well.
Yeah, 2 words of warning for England. Erling Haaland. What a game that's going to be as well.
Yeah, of course, has scored a bucket load of goals for Manchester City over the last few years. And Ståle Solbakken, the Norway coach as well, who used to coach in England.
Javier, la gente despide a la selección mexicana con aplausos. ¿Se va México con la frente en alto de este mundial?
Yo, a juzgar por el ánimo de la gente, el espíritu del equipo, sí, no les puedo reprochar nada. Yo creo que es fútbol, cometimos un par de errores en los goles que aceptamos, pero bueno, es fútbol, ellos son un gran equipo y hicimos lo que pudimos, sí.
México empujó hasta el final, pero parece ser que desconcentraciones de minuto y medio le cuesta.
Mis jugadores pueden estar tranquilos porque hicieron lo que pudieron ante un gran equipo.
Evidentemente los cambios se van dictando por las circunstancias. En 2002 dijiste que no habías ensayado esos cambios. ¿Estos cambios sí estaban ensayados?
Evidentemente nosotros lo de César lo arriesgamos hasta el final, hizo un gran esfuerzo. Y luego al final Santi y Raúl han jugado juntos. Sí, ya lo del Memote, como ellos tienen uno menos, era una apuesta por la altura, pero bueno, al final no pudo ser esto. Felicito a mis jugadores y ya está, no tengo más.
Muchas gracias, Javier. Felicidades por este mundial.
Thomas Tuchel, the heart, the character, the quality, the resilience. How proud are you of that?
Very proud, very proud. We needed everything. It was super difficult, and always in the moments when we thought we catch the momentum, we had like setbacks, but that's a proper mentality. Well done.
What about the reaction to those setbacks, though? Because England just stayed in it the whole way.
Yeah, we had to. It's what I always tell you. This team is they really mean it. When the going gets tough, they never give up. They never lose belief. It was one step more.
And when you've gone through something like this, beating Mexico here, what can stop you now?
Norway. It's as easy as it is. we need 2 days now. We need to take this in. This is Azteca. It's Mexico. It's a crazy, crazy game. We left everything out there, every single one of us. So they need to take this in, and now it's full steam ahead.
Thank you, Thomas. Well done.
Well, Harry, huge congratulations. What a contest, what a win. But I just firstly wanted to ask you what's happened over there by the England goal, because there looks to be some concern.
Yeah, Jordan, my voice is gone. Hendo just fell over there. I think it's okay. Just something to do with his arm.
Okay, well, as for the performance, I think it says it all, the fact that your voice has gone. That was some contest to watch. What on earth was it like to play in?
Yeah, it was a crazy game. We had to fight. We had to find something. I've just been sitting there. I can't really talk, but all the occasion, the team, everything against us, we found a way.
I was going to say, is that what pleases you the most, the resilience today? Because even your penalty, a word on that as well, not the one you scored, the one you conceded. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I thought I got to the ball first. It was one of those days that the ref gave a lot against us. And in the end, it didn't matter. So, I'm happy.
I'm going to try one more question if your voice holds out. What can this do for England going forward? You've got a quarter-final in Miami against Norway to look forward to. What can the England fans look forward to now?
Well, just look at them here. Incredible. Unbelievable support. Speechless. I can't even talk, so...
Go and rest that voice. Rest up. Thanks, Harry.
Well, the vocal folds, not a great place there of Harry Kane. And Hinchcliffe, what did you make of the way the two teams attacked tonight?
Clearly, they both went at it, but you look at Mexico in terms of, far more final third entries, but England were clinical when they got in there, and that was the big difference. In that final 15 minutes, England backs to the wall. Mexico couldn't quite find the quality to get that third goal, and I think England, just when they got into that final third, with having Bellingham, having Kane, you're always likely to get goals and win games.
Edson, háblame primero del partido, un partido que México controló, que no dejó de atacar, que dejó el alma en el terreno de juego. ¿Qué pasó que no consiguieron ese triunfo?
No, bueno, muy poco que decir. La verdad que el equipo lo dio todo ante una selección de jerarquía. Creo que en ningún momento nos sentimos menos. Yo creo que todo el tiempo estuvimos buscando lo que pensamos que era nuestro. No, realmente hay poco que decir.
Edson, obviamente hay llanto, hay frustración, pero la gente los ovaciona de pie. El mensaje que viene de la tribuna es lo que ustedes reflejaron también en la cancha, ¿no crees?
Sí, realmente desde que inició esto sabíamos que la gente era fundamental para nosotros. En cada paso que dimos, su energía nos llenaba de alegría. Poder darle una alegría a esta gente que realmente ha sufrido mucho en general, queremos hacerlo por ellos.
Edson, más allá de la eliminación, se vio un crecimiento de la selección mexicana en un proceso que no fue fácil para ustedes, para la federación, para el pueblo mexicano. ¿Qué es lo que viene para el tricolor?
Sí, yo creo que desde el principio hubo muchas dudas en este grupo de jugadores. Y creo que lo dimos todo hasta el final. Creo que es el camino que se tiene que seguir con los talentos, con los chicos que hay. De verdad, duele muchísimo porque es una familia, un grupo espectacular de principio a fin. Duele mucho.
Well, the fans filing out of Mexico City Stadium for the final time this summer in what has been one of the greatest games this stadium has ever had, surely. Can't vouch to have been here in 1970 and 1986, but in any of the matches played out in such a fashion like that, I will stand corrected. But as a football fan, it doesn't get much better than that, I don't think.
You have to add 2026 to 1970 and 1986. This game will be remembered for years and years to come, and not just from a Mexico and England point of view. We're looking at the two strikers. Again, Jimenez had more attempts on target than Harry Kane, but Harry Kane He created a goal, but then that penalty to make it 3-1, that ultimately was the difference. He is just so composed in front of goal. Jimenez, on another day, could have maybe had a hat-trick. Jordan Pickford made some great saves, but both strikers had some decent service. I think we saw the best of them, but Harry Kane ultimately came out on top as the match winner.
Stadium that opened in 1966, the only stadium now immortal to have had 3 different World Cups staged at it. As I was saying earlier, there is a chance it has the Women's World Cup as well. But we sign off here as England go through and Mexico go out. Good night from us all.
Asimismo, el personal médico y ambulancias ofrecen asistencia de primeros auxilios. Además, el personal de seguridad y circuito cerrado monitorea el antes, durante y después del evento. Si por alguna razón te separas de tus acompañantes, dirígete al módulo de personas extraviadas ubicado frente